Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm comparing the LG CX, the LG G2 and the LG G4, what you can see here in the back, and I try to answer the question if you maybe should upgrade your TV. And for this video, I recorded each TV with the out-of-the-box factory settings in the filmmaker mode. And for the game mode, I changed the color tone on the LG G2 and the LG G4 to warm 50. On the LG CX, I changed the color tone to warm 2. And for this video, we're focusing mainly on the brightness between each TV and also on the colors between each TV, because the LG G4 has, in my opinion, better colors, not much better colors, but visible better colors, especially in the game mode. But now let's start and let's take a closer look on a couple of samples what I have provided, and we're starting with this one from the Spears and Munsell DVD, and what we can see, I think it's a very clear winner here. The LG G4 on the top is significant brighter here than the LG CX on the bottom left corner and the LG G2 on the bottom right corner. And the same counts for the next picture. And no, I haven't changed anything in regards of camera settings to make the G4 look better. This is clearly the difference what you can expect when you move from a CX or G2 to a G4. But if we now comparing the CX with the G2, you can actually see there's not much of a difference, at least not in this scene. But when we're now looking at this scene and when we're focusing on the sun on the right hand side, then we can clearly see that the LG G2 is actually offering a slightly higher maximum peak brightness in specular highlights compared to the CX. The G4, of course, is outshining both TVs. The G4 has a maximum peak brightness of roughly around 1500 nits compared to the G2 with 1000 nits and the CX with around 750 nits. The next one is a very good example on how much brighter the LG G4 is in normal scenes, because I wouldn't say that this scene is particularly good for specular highlights. This is a bright scene in general, and especially the stone, which is getting shined on from the sun, is very, very bright and looks very natural on the G4 compared to the CX or the G2. The CX is in this very moment just very dull, doesn't look right, and it's not much fun to watch. The next scene is a very good example again on how much better the color production is on the LG G4. Just focus on the red eyes and compare this with the LG CX and the G2 and see how much brighter the red eyes are actually on the G4 without losing color information. The same counts, of course, for the green color and the orange color. Everything is just more saturated on the G4 without looking oversaturated. It's just the better picture in general. The next one is a very good example on how much better the LG G4 is actually presenting colors in combination with brightness. The LG CX compared to the LG G4 is very dull and boring. The LG G2 is in the middle of both, but still the LG G4 is, in my opinion, so much ahead that we can talk about a day and night difference. And now let's move on to gaming, and the first game what I compared is Ratchet & Clank on my PlayStation 5 Pro. The reason why I chose this game is because this game supports the HDR system level calibration on the PlayStation 5. And while we're watching this side-by-side comparison, let me just tell you that the LG G4 is just absolutely amazing in this game. The specular highlights are very, very bright thanks to 1500 nits maximum peak brightness, and the LG CX, I'm very sorry to say that, but the LG CX looks very, very dull and boring. When I compared this next to each other, I was really surprised and actually very happy with my LG G4 because I wasn't expecting this much of a difference. And especially scenes with very bright colors are looking so much better on the LG G4. The colors are very vibrant, but I mentioned this already, they're not looking oversaturated. They're just better in regards of the color volume, the color saturation in general. Plus, we have much brighter colors and we have much better specular highlights. So, and also, of course, the average picture brightness, because this game was recorded with HGHG enabled, the average picture brightness on the LG G4 is just much higher. That means, yeah, HGHG doesn't look dull on this TV at all on the LG G4. On the CX, on the other hand, you can clearly see there is something missing, and it is not just brightness. The LG G2 is doing a good job, but compared to the G4, no chance. The next game what I compared was Spider-Man, and I had in this game the same experience as in Ratchet & Clank. The colors are better, specular highlights are much better on the G4, and in total, the game looks just amazing on the LG G4. The LG CX, I know it's just a 4-year-old TV, and usually 4 years for a TV is not much actually. But in this case, there's a big difference between the LG CX, the LG G2, and the LG G4. So let's stop here and let's take a closer look on this scene here. And yeah, what can I tell you? The LG G4 is just a very good TV compared to the LG CX and the G2. The yellow color here at this very moment was so bright that some specular highlights are actually clipped because of my camera settings. So the G4 was just too bright for my camera settings. It's not that the G4 was not showing all the details. Comparing this to the CX and G2, you can see how dull and boring actually the CX and the G2 is compared to the G4. So this is the result of having a much higher maximum peak brightness plus better colors thanks to MLA. And last but not least, we have another example on how much better the average picture brightness is on the LG G4, again with HGHG enabled. Compared to the LG CX and G2, the average picture brightness on the G4 is visible brighter, which means HGHG doesn't look dull anymore. On the CX, it was, especially in some games, a problem actually to use HGHG, not in Spider-Man probably, but in some games. And yeah, with the G4, there's literally no excuse anymore to not use HGHG. Okay, my friends, so what is now my summary after I spent several thousands of hours with the CX, also thousands of hours with the G2, and not so much hours or many hours with my LG G4. But there's a clear winner. I mean, the LG G4 is my best OLED TV what I have in the house, and I also have the S95C, which is a fantastic TV, and it is a perfect gaming TV in my opinion. But the overall quality, the overall package, the out-of-the-box experience is just better on the LG OLED TVs because you don't have no problems, okay? That's how it is. My S95C is my main TV when it comes to watching movies and playing games, and the reason is very simple because Game Motion Plus for gaming is, for me, a mandatory feature now. And yeah, again, the peak brightness in the filmmaker mode and stuff like that, plus the QD OLED colors are making this TV my number one when it comes to really watching something and really gaming something. But that doesn't mean I would not recommend to buy the LG G4 because again, the out-of-the-box experience on the LG OLED TVs is just much better because all what you have to do is you turn on your TV and that's it. You don't need to do anything, okay? So, okay, maybe the game mode on the LG OLED TVs should improve actually because we still have a very bluish picture and I would recommend to change the color tone to warm 50, but that's just my recommendation. You don't need to do this because again, you turn on the LG TVs and everything is working flawless. So, should you upgrade coming from an LG CX? I don't know. So let's say like this, if you like to have, or if you have the money to spend, go for it. Absolutely. You have seen there is a significant difference in regards of brightness, in regards of color between the CX and the G4. If you're coming from a G2, yes, there's also a difference, but not as a day and night difference, okay? You will notice the difference, no worries at all, but the G2 is a fantastic TV. So in this case, I would probably wait for the G5, but it also depends on how much money you want to spend because the G4 right now will probably go on sale or is already on sale and you can get a very good offer. For the G5, you will need to wait a couple of months to get actually a better price. So again, it's very hard to tell actually what to do, but yeah, my CX is gone. I gave my CX away because this was the actually, I had to do it because my wife told me, because she said, you're not buying another TV without selling one. And yeah, the CX was the one who had to go, unfortunately, because that's how it is, okay? It's time to move on, okay? I moved on. I'm using the G2. I'm using the G4. I'm using my S95C. Let's see if I'm going to use the LG G5 or the S95F as well. Not sure about that yet, but let me know in the comment section what you're going to use, if you're going to buy the G5, if you're going to buy the S95F, or maybe a complete different TV. Let me know in the comment section. And yeah, thank you very much for watching me. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.